Hello, wrestling fans. This is Smart Mark returning with an FCW review, and I'm so excited to be talking to you guys again. I was gone for a couple of weeks due to my family moving, and I started a new job, so trying to get just settled into a routine, and really had just been too busy to do it for a few weeks, but I am back and better than ever, I promise. Speaking of better than ever, this was a classic FCW episode with the Grand Royale. They started out with a package kind of showing us what was coming, and right away I was just like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then we got Maxine and Norman Smiley in the ring explaining the rules. Basically, all the competitors line up or kind of surround the ring, and they put 30 seconds on the clock, and all the competitors have to get into the ring within 30 seconds or else they don't get to be in it. And I thought that was that is so cool. What a great idea. This is the first one I've seen. I guess they've done this 3 years in a row, but I've only been watching FCW for 6 months now. So new to me, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So basically, I'll just kind of read off the list here of the guys that, in the order they got eliminated. Big E Langston was first eliminated. Then Husky Harris, which would have definitely thought he'd last longer, so that was surprising. Then Briley Pierce, Ethnico, Brad Maddox, then Unico, then Xavier Woods, then Richie Steamboat, and those two kind of got into it, so afterwards, so I'm guessing we'll probably see them match up. Dean Ambrose, which I really thought he'd be one of the last ones. Then Leaki, Kenneth Cameron of the Ascension, Rick Victor, who I can't remember having seen before, so it kind of surprised me. He was one of the last guys in. And that left us with the final two of Mike Dalton and Damian Sandow. And the way they did this was Sandow kept, throwing Mike Dalton over the top rope, and he would, he'd skin the cat or do something to get back in the ring. And that after getting basically frustrated, I really thought this was Sandow's to win, and he was looking pretty, wearing pink tights with purple knee pads, and so it was just funny for him to look that way. And anyway, so he gets frustrated inevitably, and after this had went a few minutes, I kind of started thinking Dalton was going to pull it off, and he did. In the upset, Mike Dalton wins the Grand Royale. Then directly afterwards, Byron Saxton comes down and interviews him right there in the crowd, and the excitement level was high. I do think Mike Dalton is an up and comer, and got a nice baby face appeal to him. So I kind of expect now, especially behind this, that they'll start pushing him a lot more. So yeah, basically, after winning this, it meant that he gets now to fight Leo Kruger in the main event for the title. So just what an awesome show. Then we get Jason Jordan against Abraham Washington, and kind of as far as I know, Jordan would be a jobber at this point. Washington beats him with the spinning neck breaker. Then he gets on the mic and does a pretty great job of, kind of selling and developing his character just a little bit more. And I really am enjoying Abraham Washington right now. Then we get a match where the queen of FCW, Raquel Diaz, goes up against the FCW Divas champ, Audrey Marie. And Audrey Marie, the Divas championship is on the line, but not the queen title. And I want to say, they should have had the queen title on the line too, champion versus champion thing. But in the end, Raquel Diaz gets the win, becoming the new Divas champion and still the queen. For, a women's match, there was a lot on the line, so for this show, it really fit right in there to kind of break things up and get you kind of ready to get excited about Dalton versus Kruger, which they ended up putting on a really good match. And at times, Dalton looked like he might pull it off again, but in the end, Leo Kruger retained his title, which only makes sense, and beats Mike Dalton with when he taps out to the sleeper hold. It was a really, really fun show, and just really packed with excitement from beginning to end. They even said that next week we were going to have Damian Sandow next week Sandow beats Steamboat, defending the Jack Briscoe 15 championship against Steamboat. So I'm looking forward to that match. A- show. A show. I just can't, there was nothing lacking here. This was a great, great program of wrestling. Maybe, if I guess if somebody I actually gave a shit about, like Dean Ambrose or Damian Sandow, won the championship, then I'd probably be forced to give it an A+. But in the end, they got Mike Dalton over. They need, to kind of work on getting some good babyface to work with these heels. They've got a lot of good heel talent. So leave your comments and let me know if you've watched this, what you thought. And if you have not watched it, please find it and watch it, because I think that you almost cannot find, it's hard for me to say FCW just rocks it out week after week. It is such a fun show to watch, and I really feel like it's just wrestling done the right way. The way, I just enjoy the hell out of it, and I think that you will too if you are a wrestling fan. And don't forget, these are the guys that eventually are going to be, the next generation of top talent for WWE. And, I think Damian Sandow, stands out as just being ready, and his look, just everything about his presence just screams, for him to be taken to the next level. Who do you like? Who do you see going to the WWE next and making a big impact? I'd like to know what you guys think. Mr. Parkin has his own channel of the British Fist where he does FCW reviews. He gave me a big shout out a couple of weeks ago, so I definitely want to return the favor. And if you're listening to me talk about wrestling, then I think you would probably enjoy listening to him talk about wrestling. And yeah, excited to watch some Impact Wrestling tonight, and hopefully that means we'll get the IWO show up and running again, and we will probably get that one taped tomorrow. So thank you guys for listening and sticking with me, and it's good to be back.